man. RP Pop Smoke, RP Pop Bugsy too, man. Y'all niggas know what's up. I still be home,
Good morning, Mr. Lee. So you have a warrant out of the state of New York.
23-year-old Brandon Lee appearing before a judge. And just into our newsroom, this is some brand new video of the second suspect, Krishan Hedge, making his appearance in bond court this morning. He's actually charged with leaving the scene of that Lamborghini crash. He's currently being held on no bond for violating his probation from a previous case. As for Lee, he is contesting his extradition back to New York City, meaning he could be held here in the Miami-Dade County Jail for another 60 days until a second hearing can be scheduled.
You heard? No, man, big 90. Yo, so any of y'all niggas 1090K. Hold on. Any of y'all niggas 1090K? No. Oh, y'all, come in the video. Oh, y'all niggas 1090K or what? What happened?
Bro, ain't no beef with 1090, but I'm telling you.
What be wrong with these hoes nowadays, bro? This shit crazy, bro. 1 minute, you start talking to a hoe. You take a hoe out, y'all vibe. Next thing you know, this is your bitch. Whatever happened to, can you be my boyfriend or you gonna be my girlfriend? People don't ask each other out no more. This shit crazy, bro. For real. Man. Like, these bitches be tripping. That's why I'm scared to get in a relationship. You vibe with a hoe. Now you done talk to a couple, 2, 3 hoes. You got 3 bitches now.
G shit.
They all think they your girlfriend. They ain't even ask you, do you have a girl? Can I be your girl? Nah, I'm your bitch. We finna vibe up. Man, they ain't gonna tie me down like that. They ain't gonna get you wild. Man, talking to Skrap 1090, the big whoop from the floss.
Damn, the big whoop. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yo, nigga say you just touched down though, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact. I just came home. I beat 2 cases.
Oh shit, you beat them shit.
Yeah.
Alright.
Went all the way to the door, trial.
Right. What the hell you booked for? Some serious shit?
Yeah, a manslaughter, 2 premeditated attempts.
Well, God is good, bro. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good looking, man. It's good to meet you, but I ain't gonna lie. I heard you fuck with them blicky niggas. Like,
Word though. What happened? Why you don't fuck with them niggas?
Like, street shit, man. Certain things going on. Ain't nothing too much to talk about.
Yo, what it is, people, we is back. Never down, keep it G News. And they are, we talking about Skrap 1090, so we gotta go to New York City. And we're gonna take a little step in Miami because I don't know how many people's familiar with him. Because I don't think he's a rapper. And I'm gonna get to that. Because I was looking into this boy and I was trying to figure out, because I ran across a story, right? Y'all know how I always tell y'all how this come across my desk. And it was about a guy testifying on his friend. His friend was named Skrap 1090 or 1090 Skrap. So I get to looking into him. Like, maybe he a rapper, like what makes him relevant. But I can't find no music on him. But it clicked to me. Skrap 1090 isn't notable because he's a rapper. Skrap 1090 is a street nigga. Skrap 1090 is similar to the D Rose in Chicago. So if you watch this video, I'm talking about if you know this story, stick around because you ain't never heard it told this way. You ain't seen it the G way, I promise you. So don't go nowhere. But Skrap 1090, which y'all just watched them earlier clips, was, him talking about him being arrested. Beat a couple charges, serious charges. We talking about murders and attempts and things like that. And that's one of the worst things that can happen to some people, y'all, because when you beat them type of charges, especially early on in your life, it gives you a fake sense of the system. You think you Mr. Untouchable. You walk away feeling like John Gotti. I'm telling you, this is how I be. You feel me? But he heard him. He said he took it to trial. He didn't get a non-process. That's another thing that gets confused a lot. People will think just because you caught a serious charge and they non-process it, then you beat it. That's not what that means. That just means they can come back at a later date as long as you haven't been indicted. But Skrap 1090 is not a rapper. He's a street guy. But he got a lot of praise, Skrap 1090 is part of the Wu. Now, for people that's not familiar with the Wu, and the people that's are, the Wu is what Pop Smoke used to rap. Skrap 1090 used to also rock with Bobby Shmurda, GS9. You might have caught him in a Hot Nigga video. So we talking about a guy that, from my knowledge, is not a rapper. At least I can't find no music on him. I think he calls himself a CEO of a label.
Break me, make me. Got one in a hat. Ha. Ain't got no safety, I gotta keep it 380. That pocket rocky, yeah, stay on me daily. I don't need a bodyguard to keep me safe.
You could die today. Moving dusty in the town and in LA. Riding with the blick, in the whip. Hold on, got a dip. Police riding dick. That boy ain't no coach. Turn him to a ghost. Make sure they drop the boat. Little bitch, come get me.
Spinning in the foreign, don't do no suburban. Say dropping the room, nigga, who is you? Catch him, then we heard him. Bullets leave him burning. Told him he was nervous, bro, ran down, he a different person. He could try to run, still gonna hit surgeon. Flopping in the foreign.
No, I don't feel rappers. No, they rap on the beat till they get robbed, then they go chill out. I ain't one of these niggas. Nah, I ain't none of these niggas. Nah.
But we talking about a guy who street reputation stretched far and wide. How do you go from being hanging with GS9 in 2014 to Pop Smoke in 2018 or whatever year he died? Like, shorty, it's about it. And you can kind of get that vibe from him when you listen to him. You see the things he talk about. You peep how he move. You see the trouble he get into. Because though he got caught a couple years back, I don't know them years that he caught them charges, you know, the murders and attempts that he was talking about. Back then, found himself in more trouble in 2018.
For suspects wanted for a deadly shooting of a man in the parking lot of a movie theater in Queens. He was killed in front of his girlfriend in Flushing. Investigators are trying to figure out who shot him and why. Here's Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett.
Investigators converged on 3 separate crime scenes. The ground littered with evidence markers where the 25-year-old victim was dragged from a car and shot to death in front of his girlfriend. The gunman and his 3 accomplices wore black masks. A ruthless, cold-blooded murder just off the Whitestone Expressway in College Point, Queens. 2 weapons were recovered, but the suspects escaped. Police say it happened at 3:30 in the morning, long after the theater had closed. The victim was driving his girlfriend's car and was apparently followed into the parking lot after the suspects rammed the car several times. The man's girlfriend was not physically harmed. Eyewitness News has learned that the couple had attended a birthday party at Angel's Strip Club in Flushing and had just left in the minutes before the shooting. Investigators say they were likely targeted by the suspects, who may have been inside the club earlier that evening. It's the same club where rapper Cardi B had a confrontation with 2 bartenders in August. But sources believe that's a coincidence, and the 2 cases are unrelated.
So at the time Jaquan Campbell was murdered, they didn't have suspects, but you know how the police operate, they're going to do investigating. They're going to do their due diligence. But that news article didn't really cover the basis of what actually happened on this night that Jaquan Campbell lost his life. Because it get worse. They actually called this a mob-style killing. And I want y'all to be the judge. Was this mob-style? Similar to what O Black did? Brazen? No regard for human life? Listen to it. The 3 men allegedly connected to a deadly shooting at a College Point parking lot last October have been indicted for second-degree murder and additional charges. Prosecutors announced on Friday. Brooklyn residents Brandon Lee, Dijon Palmer, 26, and Darvin Couture, 24, are accused of participating in the October 1st, 2018 murder of Jaquan Campbell, 25, inside the College Point multiplex parking lot. According to law enforcement, the shooting stemmed from a dispute involving Campbell and the suspects at a nearby strip club earlier that morning. In a mob-style hit, the men accused in this indictment went after an entourage of 4 cars leaving a strip club in Queens last October. Chief Assistant Attorney John Ryan said on May 3rd, "This was a brutal and calculated killing. This kind of lawlessness and gun violence will not be tolerated in our community. The defendants tried to flee justice, some fleeing the state, but they've all been apprehended and will be imprisoned as a result of their alleged actions." Authorities said trouble began early on the morning of October 1st, 2018 at Angel Strip Club located at 3217 College Point Boulevard in Flushing. Published reports indicate that Campbell had been involved in an altercation at the club before leaving with his girlfriend. At 3:24 a.m. that morning, prosecutors said Campbell and his girlfriend were inside a black Lexus being pursued by a black BMW occupied by 4 men, 3 of whom were wearing masks. The BMW driver intentionally crashed into the Lexus at the multiplex parking lot in the vicinity of Alma Street and the Whitestone Expressway. Law enforcement said that Campbell was able to drive a couple blocks, then stopped to inspect the damage. The BMW then pulled up, and the 4 men jumped out of the vehicle. One of them pulled out a gun and started firing at Campbell near his car. More than 40 rounds in all were fired, according to Ryan. Campbell was hit multiple times in his chest and later died of his injuries. His girlfriend was uninjured. Following the gunfire, the 4 men abandoned their BMW and forced Campbell's companion out of the Lexus. Then they hopped into the car and took off along Alma Street to the intersection of 120th Street and 26th Avenue, where they ditched the vehicle and fled. Officers from the 109th Precinct responded to the incident and launched an investigation with the NYPD Queens North Homicide Squad. Detectives picked up Palmer and Gatua 2 weeks later on October 14th, while Lee was apprehended in Miami, Florida a week later. The indictment charges the 3 men with second-degree murder, first and second-degree robbery, second-degree attempt murder, second-degree criminal possession of a weapon, and first-degree reckless endangerment. Palmer faces an additional charge of tampering with physical evidence. All 3 men are being held without bail and must return on court May 20th. They each face up to 25 years behind bars if convicted. Ryan added that a 4th man is currently in custody out of state, and his extradition back to Queens is pending. Now, I don't know what this beef was about, y'all. Could have been gang related. But one of the things that bothers me when it comes down to New York and this drill era and this drill movement is, where was the OGs at? I don't know how did it get so bad in New York to where so these young kids, you know, because they're young, would have ever thought that they was going to be able to have drill music expand so far and so fast that the federal government wasn't going to come crashing down on them. This is New York City. You know, this is Hollywood on the East Coast. So I don't know how drill did what it did. But we are seeing countless indictments from New York. From, what's the boy name? Casanova, the K-Flock, you know, you name them. They was arrested and got caught in the RICO because of this drill movement and this gang activity that hit New York back in the 90s, maybe the 80s, late 80s. But right now, New York is probably worse as it was back into the 90s. You know, New York had a long stretch where crime was very low. But Skrap 1090 found itself in this type of situation. Like I said, I don't know what the beef was over. Could have been gang related. You know, we dealing with gang members. These things happen. But if y'all listen to the details of what these guys allegedly did, it makes you wonder, what the fuck was they thinking? Similar to what O-Block did. It's like certain crimes, they can be so outrageous. It's like, yo, we gotta solve this. This is how the police is thinking. You know, we gotta solve this. There is no way we're gonna let these boys get away with what they did. You talking about hit the man, crashed him, ran him down while he out checking his car, murdered him, took the car. We talking about over 40 rounds. Even left a gun on the scene. I don't know who that would belong to, but that would be wild if that was one of their weapons. A gun was left on the scene. Kicks the girl out the car. Takes the Lexus or the BMW. Y'all know I ain't good with memory. One of them cars that they took was either Lexus or BMW. And drives off in it. Crashes it. Hops out. Adios amigos. But Skrap 1090 didn't just stay in New York. No, hell no. Skrap 1090 looked like me playing with some paper. He was getting some money, so whenever you get money, you're able to travel. So what Skrap 1090 did was take a ride down 95, and he ended up in Miami on a high-speed chase.
Police pursuit that put thousands of South Florida drivers in harm's way during rush hour traffic. Tonight, we know why the people in that car did not want to be caught. CBS 4's Carrie Codd is live in Miami with new details. Carrie?
That's right. The U.S. Marshal's Office says 2 men in that car are wanted for a murder in New York. And this all came to an end here on the bridge over the Miami River just after 5 o'clock today. The U.S. Marshal's Office says these men went on a miles-long chase through Miami. When they encountered some traffic here, they realized they needed to stop their car and get out and run, but they were surrounded by the police.
Okay, we're going to interrupt that story because we have some breaking news to tell you about. This is a police pursuit on the MacArthur Causeway. The pursuit unfolded live on CBS 4 News Monday afternoon.
Yeah, we're getting some information now from Miami police. They're actually going westbound. They're just right now into downtown Miami.
The driver of a white BMW raced through intersections, drove on the wrong side of the street, drove on the shoulder and curves, all with police in pursuit.
In the the middle of rush hour. Sky 10 flying high above the scene on Monday as the chase began on Miami Beach. The suspect's white BMW weaving in and out of traffic before driving the wrong way on busy Alton Road. At one point, narrowly missing this moped. After hopping onto the MacArthur Causeway, the suspects then headed west onto the Dolphin Expressway. Congestion forcing them to exit onto Northwest 27th Avenue.
The car seen weaving through traffic on Miami Beach and even down the wrong way on Alton Road right in the middle of rush hour. Luckily, there was a break in traffic, but watch here as the speeding car narrowly misses a rider on a scooter. Police say 4 men were inside of the car, including Krishan Hedge and Brandon Lee. The pair had been wanted in connection with the homicide earlier this month in New York City, and today U.S. Marshals spotted them in Miami, but they refused to stop. The fast-moving Beamer then hopped onto the MacArthur Causeway westbound back into Miami, where it was eventually met with heavy traffic congestion on the 836 Expressway. So the driver exited at Northwest 27th Avenue, where things came to a crashing end at 20th Street. The white BMW with the damaged windshield is now police evidence tonight following a high-speed pursuit of her cell phone, and was rolling as cops handcuffed and carted away both of the alleged fugitives. Investigators also believe Hedge and Lee were involved in a hit-and-run caught on video 2 weeks ago. A Lamborghini is seen slamming into the back of a pickup truck, but the driver and passenger didn't stick around. They hopped into a friend's Mercedes and pull away, leaving behind that crumpled high-end sports car. The other driver, an off-duty Miami Beach firefighter, was not injured. 2 others who were riding in that car during the chase were let go. But as far as the pair arrested, we've learned tonight that they are accused of killing a 25-year-old man after a dispute at a business in New York City. He was apparently followed to the parking lot of a movie theater and ultimately gunned down in front of his girlfriend.
Now, we don't specify how they became suspects. I'm sure it must be somebody talking. I don't know if the girl, they said they had on masks, so I don't know if, I doubt if they had on masks in the event. You know, but you never know. This is shiesty season. This is a shiesty world where people wear their masks everywhere they go. I doubt if they're allowed in the club, though. But maybe they got the picture from him in the club and they traced him because he's a known gang member. He's been getting in trouble for years, but who knows? That's just me speculating. But Skrap 1090 ends up in Miami on a high-speed chase. And did y'all hear the details of that chase? You talking about he wasn't trying to get caught. And I get it. Nobody is trying to go to prison for murder. Then why I do it? Because I think we got this false reality where people think, you know, because we might know a few guys, but people think that everybody get away. Everybody just is able to kill and get away and nobody ever gets caught, but that is the furthest thing from the truth. And Skrap 1090 sees that. I can guarantee y'all when he was on that chase, the last thing on his mind was getting caught. He would have done anything he has. He'd have jumped off the bridge if he could have, to get away from that murder charge, because though you heard they was fighting extradition, they back in New York City. And one of these guys, I'm not sure if he was the guy that was with them when they got arrested. You know, they let 2 go in Miami. One of them was fighting extradition because it was 2 of the guys that had something to do with the New York shooting was in Miami at the time. But I don't know which one this is. But what they saying is 1090 Skrap, one of his close friends, childhood friends, is actually testifying on him to get a plea deal, y'all, of 14 years.
Part of the agreement is if I do testify, then I need 14 to file for.
If you testify truthfully?
Yes.
Before you made that
move to strike down.
You're testifying here today because you have an agreement with me, my office. You recognize the person that just walked in the door?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Chico.
Is that Lieutenant Darwin Duto, as you previously called Chico?
Yeah.
Ms. Small, do you recognize anyone in this particular frame?
Yes.
And who's that?
Max.
And did you see him walking along this street?
So what did he say?
Max. Ms. Small.
Yes.
You said Max, is this Brandon Lee, the defendant in this case?
Yes.
Did Krishan Hedge get back in the car?
Yeah.
What seat did he get into?
In the red passenger.
Now, as you were parked there around the block from Angels, can you tell us what, if anything, you saw? Say it again? When you were in the
sad story, a sad situation where you got a guy that had some level of talent, Shorty was known. And when I was looking him up, it was another guy, another kid named Skrap 1090. Now, I think he's a part of their label, but to have a drill rapper that young is, how I view that. But Skrap 1090 had influence. Talk about that a lot on this channel. He had influence and he could have did anything with this influence. You see the cars he was riding, and we talking about BMWs, Lexus trucks, and Lamborghinis in Miami. They could have been rented, but still cost money. Even to be able to get in Miami and live a life costs money. He probably wasn't never going to come back. He probably was trying to make his way over the seas. Who knows? But he could have did anything with his influence. He wanted to be a street nigga. And I get it. A lot of times, this is where we from. We get trapped in it, but once you get the money, you supposed to get away from it, especially if you got the name. Skrap 1090 had the name. He had the money. He had the resources. We talking about a guy that was friends with Roddy Rebel and, Bobby Shmurda. Sure, they could have put him deep with something because Bobby Shmurda ain't going back to jail, and I doubt Roddy Rebel is either. But a lot of times, I don't want to say, we not scared to talk to the younger generation, but we just look at it like, shit, he gonna do his thing anyway. But maybe he was. And I'm not saying nobody tried to talk this boy because he probably was setting his ways. You talking about a guy that been beating charges for the longest, who can remember? You feel me? And that's why I say a lot of times that give you a false sense of the system, because what you supposed to do in that situation, because God saved you for a reason, actually gave him a touch of the blessings that he would have fully gave him if he'd have moved the right way and left the street shit behind. But what happened was he got consumed by the streets. And once you got your foot stuck in the motherfucking pavement, once your shit stuck in cement, it's hard to get it out. You accumulated so much beef on the streets that even when you try to change, you still got guys that's gonna be after you, so you can't never really sleep comfortable at night. But Skrap 1090 had a decision to make when he beat those charges, because like I say, he beat them for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, in my opinion. He decided, allegedly, because he hadn't been found guilty, to still go the direction of being a gangster. But what happens with gangsters is they die and go to prison. I'm going to say 85, maybe 90% of the time, I'm talking about it's high. Especially if you're on a high level gangsterism. It's levels to everything. But now his homeboy, which from what they saying is his right hand man, somebody he grew up with, is testifying on him for a deal of 14 years, facing 25 to life. But this is what happens, when you involve yourself in this type of thing. Everybody not built to last. Everybody not built forward tough. And some people will get put in them situations. Some people you may trust. You might have never thought that he'd turn around and stab you in your back, but it happens daily. I mean, we dealing with the streets, y'all. And I'm not one of them people that's going to say, ain't no honor amongst thieves, because that's a goddamn lie. I mean, it's just about who you align yourself with, You got to peep the signs way before get to somebody tell them, because they are there, I promise you. You can always see them if you pay attention to them. But when we dealing with friends, we get blinded by the fact that this is my man and I got love for him, and we don't pay attention to the small details. We don't look at the fine print to tell you, he ain't really right for you. If it ever get too tough, if the water ever gets that deep, he'll drown you. And that's what's currently going on with Jake 1090 Skrap. They trying to drown him. Now, he haven't been sentenced yet. I don't know if this was just a hearing or a trial is actually going on, because the details on it is scarce, but I'm going to keep my eye on it, and I want to know how this ends for him. Because it could have ended great, but it might end bad, depending on the evidence. But let me know how y'all feel about us in the comments. Another day, Keep It G News.
Nigga can't do what I do, y'all niggas can't copy me. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep the shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G.